The radio silence is broken, guys. Yes, I had a great Thanksgiving weekend with my family. I hope you had a great weekend as well. But it is Monday, and that means it is time for the mailbag, answering your questions from the mailbag channel in the Discord. Yeah, we're talking about the Asgardians this time, the Inhumans, the new Dark Dimension, and so much more. If you guys are ready for all of that, to see if your question made the list this time, you know what to do. Let's go smash it!
ValleyFlyin.
Oh yeah, baby. What is up, Valley Maniacs? ValleyFlyin here. I am back. Welcome to the channel. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you had some great food. And it is time to get back to work, though. We are talking about Marvel Strike Force and all of your questions. Inhumans, new Dark Dimension, Marauders. We got a lot of things to talk about. Questions from all over the place. But it is right from the Discord channel on that mailbag questions channel. So if you are not a member of the Discord channel, make sure you join there to get your questions potentially featured on an upcoming mailbag show. And check out some of the other links that support the channel as well. I am playing on BlueStacks and it looks beautiful, guys. But let's get into the rest of the questions. So, boom, first question, ValleyFlyin. Not really a question, but it would be awesome if you could challenge your teammates' rooms in war between active wars to test out defense in different rooms. I would love that. I think that would be so awesome. One of the big things about war is you don't really have a real test mode because the only real time to test it is during an actual war, and you don't really want to be experimenting during that time. Blitz, you can kind of experiment, but to actually get those war bonuses and test out defenses, I think would be very, very good. So I know it's not an actual question, but Fox Next, I hope you're listening. I would love this idea. Next question, boom. ValleyFlyin, do you think the time change option is coming soon in MSF? So if you guys don't know what this is about, a few weeks back, there was a data mine about being able to switch your time zones back when we had the daylight savings time switch over. So this was something I was really, really excited about, but it was just a data mine. It wasn't something officially announced. So I'm hoping that this is something that is coming soon, potentially with this update that is dropping probably either this week or next week. I'm hoping that is something in there, but we will wait and see. I hope it is in there, but I do know a lot of things from previous data mines had been never heard from again. So I hope this is not one of them. All right, next question. Is Thor's upcoming passive going to be proc for every Asgardian ally attacked in an AoE? Will attacks on Loki's summon proc his passive? So let's go to the exact wording of what was provided to us in the Envoy program. You could read it for yourself because I think the answer is yes to both of these questions. All right, and this is exactly what was given to us. I'm just going to read this. You guys can make your own interpretations. But for me, I think both of these things will. I think the passive for every Asgardian in an AoE attack will just prompt Thor's AoE to go off, and I think it will count on Loki's summons as well. Let's read this and see exactly what happens. So he will get the health for the non-minion Asgardian ally, but what the question was about was this counter attack that Thor is doing. When an enemy attacks an Asgardian ally, change speed bar by 5%, but gaining +1 charge up to a maximum of 5. And when you get a maximum charge, you're going to attack all allies for 260% damage. So the way I'm reading this right here, when an enemy attacks an Asgardian ally, this one for the health is specific to non-minions. So this Loki summons, Hela summons will not prompt this health, but from what I am reading, it will prompt this counterattack from Thor. So everything I am reading in this passive, what we've gotten, indicates the answer to that question is yes. Our next question, ValleyFlyin. I love the Supernatural team. They've actually doing well for me in Ultimate 6, but their tags are a mess and it's nearly impossible to use them in the Greek raids. Do you think Fox Next will take another look at their tags so they're more usable in the raids and the new Dark Dimension? I hope they do. I do want to be able to use them in these Greek raids as a team. And some of the Greek raids, you can use them as a full team. I would like to use them more, but unfortunately, I don't think that Fox Next is going to go back and look at their tags. They just got released. I don't think they're going to be revisiting this team for a little while, but hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully they are more usable in the Greek raids. But I think if they do become more usable in the Greek raids, it'll be more about them changing the tags that you can enter certain nodes with in the Greek raids rather than adjusting these characters specifically. Our next question. Hello, ValleyFlyin. Every good comic book story usually starts with a narrator setting the scene. If you were to have someone voice your life, who would you want? Personally, Macho Man Randy Savage, oh yeah. I probably wouldn't pick Macho Man if I were to pick a narrator for my life. I would probably go with someone a little more traditional, like Morgan Freeman. I mean, how many documentaries has that guy narrated? I think he would be a great narrator. And then we gotta go old school with Darth Vader, Mustafa, James Earl Jones himself. I think both of them have really good voices for narrating and doing documentaries. So either of those would be my pick, but I do like the Macho Man. All right, hey brother, with all the new changes, Supernatural, Asgardians, Black Bolt, it'll be awesome to get an updated farming guide. Any plans on doing one? Love your work, keep them coming. So I do plan to do one when we have more legendary characters, because with that farming guide, it could have went in a few different directions. Try to get a very arena viable team, try to get a lot of blitz characters, try to get a real war focused squad. But what I chose for that farming guide that I released was try to get these legendary characters as quick as possible. And I don't think there are any new legendary characters that were available since I did that guide. So the guide wouldn't change too much, but Asgardians, Black Bolt, I think they will be a very, very important part of the team. Now, we don't know how these Asgardians are going to be farmed yet. You know, right now, no way to get Hela and Sif, Heimdall not even in the game yet. So I would need to wait for them to be fully released in the game before I change the guide. But I'll probably wait for one or two more legendary characters to be released, and then I'll do an updated version of that farming guide for you guys. Next question. Do you know why CPU Thanos taunts first sometimes and doesn't on other times? I think that was something the devs put in just to give the game a little more randomness, so you're not facing the exact same team with the opponents doing the exact same things in the exact same order. Now, normally, a lot of characters will do the exact same turn. They'll use their ultimate. If it's available, then they'll use their special, then they'll use their basic. There are a few exceptions like Thanos that will do it in different orders. I know back in the day, Captain America would sometimes switch his order, but nowadays I see him using his ultimate a lot more. So I think that's just something that the devs put in there to give the game more randomness when you're playing these battles. Next question. I recently got Phoenix. My question, should I build up the entire X-Men roster now or wait until Cyclops and Beast come out to replace Wolverine and Storm? So talking about the resources being very tight. Now, there's a couple different ways you can think about this. For me, I think the X-Men is the best team in the game, and if you build them up properly, there's no team that they cannot beat, or no preset team that they cannot beat. There might be some weird combinations that are really tough for the X-Men, but they're the best team right now, even without Cyclops, even without Beast. So for me, I would build them because I know how powerful they're going to be. And even if we add some other characters to make them even more powerful, we know how powerful that squad is, even with Wolverine and Storm. So if it was me, I would definitely build them up. But it's very likely that Beast and Cyclops would be coming this next patch. We don't know if that's definitely not confirmed, but if they are released, we don't know how they're going to be released and if they're very easily farmable. So I would personally still build my normal X-Men right now, and then once we have more information, then I might switch that strategy. What would your recommended team power be for Fear the Darkness? If I go in right now, my team power would be 251k. Still need 3 characters to get to tier 13, so it's going to be higher. Keep up the great work. All right, so I don't really look for a specific team power, because once you could get into Fear the Darkness, you should go in. When I first started Fear the Darkness, I did not have my ideal team. There was a team that I wanted to build, and then there's a team that I got the uniques for first, and I used that uniques team first. I put in Juggernaut in there, not because I think he's a great character for that game mode, but I could enter it sooner. And you gotta weigh is it worth building the perfect team or just going in there and grinding out with the characters that you could get there first? I think it's worth grinding the characters that you could get there first, while still working on some of the characters that would be a part of your ideal team. So I don't think power level matters too much, but as soon as you're ready, go in there. Don't wait. That is my main thing with Fear the Darkness. As soon as you go in, doesn't matter your power level, go in. Eventually, if you have built your characters enough, they will eventually pass it. And I think that is still quicker than waiting on these perfect uniques on these perfect teams. Next question. In your Dark Dimension 3 video, you advised against not using Sides's Supreme ult as much as her basic and special. Would you advise the same thing for using her in Ultimate 7 on your Tech Wing team? Now, my recommendation for that came from Ultimate 7 because I've noticed me personally, whenever I use her ult, Once in a while it could go good and the debuffs don't really kill my team, but a lot of it, especially because of Ultimate 7 and the power level of the characters that you're facing there are very high, it usually ends up going the wrong way. So because of Ultima 7 is why I don't recommend using her ult as much. Next question, very similar. I noticed that some people use Scientist Supreme ultimate ability when using a tech wing team, but others avoid it due to the risk. What do you think about it? So I'm glad that other people get it without as much risk, but I have found that it usually went more bad than not. So personally, I don't use that ult for Scientist Supreme in Ultimate 7. And if I ever build that character up and end up using her in this new Dark Dimension, I'm probably not going to use that ult too much either. Next question. I always see Storm's basic ability and ultimate ability, or always use Storm's basic ability and ultimate ability. I've never really seen a true need for her special since it takes away all of her charge. Do you ever use her special? And if so, in what situation? I could be useful if it didn't cause her charge. So normally I'm actually using her special more than her ultimate. Most of the time I'm using Storm in that full X-Men team and it's basic. Now when Phoenix dies, I will use Storm special to slow them, potentially stun the other team, so that when Dark Phoenix has her ultimate grow across the board, it's going into defense up. And that's what I normally do with Storm. Once in a while, the timing doesn't match up. You know, sometimes Phoenix dies really early. Sometimes she dies really late. And, you know, Storm doesn't really make best use of any of her abilities in that situation. But most of the time I'm using her special. And then once in a while, if the battle is going late and I'm just trying to get that final push for that final kill, I will use her ultimate. But yeah, normally I end up using this special more often. Next question. My alliance is Ultima 6. I'm having a pretty good BKT team, but they're getting kind of boring. I was wondering is there any way to mix in Fantastic Four to the old BKT, making a new version. So I really like the combo that original BKT team has. You got Star-Lord and Rocket, or Star-Lord and Thanos feeding Rocket that energy so he can do his AoE over and over again. Rocket has some really good synergy with Groot, who provides death proof and defense up to the whole team, clears the spells, and Minerva just giving a lot of healing and whenever anybody dies. So yeah, you're getting a lot of benefit from there. I don't know if adding this Fantastic Four can really make that team better. I have been using that Fantastic Four team in the current raids we have going on right now in that Cosmic lane, but normally they're a sacrificial team. I put them in there with Yondu and they take out that second mini boss enough for my normal team to go in. So I don't know if Fantastic Four is the best raid team right now. They were built to be a raid offense or a war offense team. And the theory was that they would replace a fifth member with Namor to go into that spot and make them a viable raid team. We don't have that fifth member yet. Invisible Woman on her own is very good, but I think that Fantastic Four team would be lacking a tank. They would be lacking a few different things to make them a really good raid team. Healing. They don't have as much healing as a normal raid team would need either. So maybe combining something with Minerva onto that team, but I don't think I would switch up the BKT team and put any Fantastic Four team. If anything, I would put some elements of the BKT team onto that Fantastic Four team, maybe with Invisible Woman. Next question. With news of the Dark Dimension 3 requirements, any word if Orange Key will be farmable on a node anytime soon? I have not heard anything either way on that. I have not heard a yes, I have not heard a no. Just basically it has not been mentioned in any of the rumors or anything. So I hope that is something that is added either to a node or to make that gear more easily accessible. Maybe putting some of that gear into these normal war orbs or the raid orbs, because there's a lot of sticking pieces to getting characters up to gear 14. It's going to be a long time to collect these pieces with the current system right now. So I hope that is something that is addressed in the next update. All right, next question. Hey, ValleyFlyin, any idea on how many people are still playing this game and how many newcomers are joining? I wonder if the new Dark Dimension 3 requirements are going to increase the burnout rate. It definitely could. I think right now it definitely should not, because we don't know what the rewards for Dark Dimension 3 are. I think if they're like Dark Dimension 1, just a lot of resources, I don't think it's going to increase the burnout rate, because I don't think anybody's going to be in a rush to really get into Dark Dimension 3. But if it is like Dark Dimension 2, that Fear the Darkness, where Ultron was the reward, I think a lot of people are going to be really rushing towards it, and it definitely could increase the burnout rate, especially if that character that they offer as the reward is a meta top tier character like Ultron was. So definitely has the potential to, but I don't think it should at this point, just because there's so many questions about Dark Dimension 3. We don't know when it's going to be released either. So many questions about it, but yeah, it definitely has the potential. Next question, a bunch of different questions. ValleyFlyin, they need to have a way to help lower players catch up. I agree. Seems like the gap is only getting bigger. I spent a good amount of dime on this game, almost 3 million CP. And I know everyone can't do that. I think they would do better with a subscription service. They need to learn from Contest of Champions. So this was actually a question from Wednesday for Black Friday and Thanksgiving. We actually got some subscription deals and I was not impressed with any of them. I'm not impressed with any of the Black Friday or Cyber Monday deals at all on any of them. I didn't make any purchases. So yeah, a subscription would help this game, but not like the one that they just did this past weekend. Also, the Red Star edition is trash. I agree. Doesn't become a strategy game when you have to punch up 200k due to someone having dumb luck. Totally agree. This was a big fear when Red Stars came out almost about a year ago now. It is probably about a week away that will be on the 1 year anniversary of these Red Stars, and it's a slight improvement to it since it originally came out, but they were still very, very bad and so much reliant on luck. I hope they change it soon. I don't like that progression system, and there's no real way to catch up for newer players to catch up and be very viable as far as end game content in this game right now. So they do need to address that, and I know it was one of their concerns when we were talking to the devs all those months ago. Next question, ValleyFlyin, do you think Quake would be a good addition to the Inhumans as a counter to the Asgardians with her slows? Best way to counter heals per turn with their passives would be to slow them down. Not sure what they would do with that. Quake definitely with her slows can be a counter to the Asgardians, but I think we will have to wait to see the rest of the Asgardians to see if they are as much of a counter as at least myself is hoping for, as to counter this Asgardian team. Our next question, hey ValleyFlyin, got a question about making videos to post to YouTube. Posted my first video to the channel. Congratulations, brother. Just shrunk some videos that I recorded on my phone, removed some of the loading parts. Very simple edit. Took my computer over an hour to render and took about 3 hours to upload to YouTube. I would like to post and make more videos, but not sure if I have the right computer or software. So my recommendation as far as that, there's 2 free pieces of software that will be very good for recording and not necessarily uploading and editing, but BlueStacks, very, very good. I think it's easier to play on my computer when I'm recording videos. So I would recommend getting that. There is a link down that supports the channel for BlueStacks if you want to use that. And then OBS, it is a free software that you could use. You could record the BlueStacks. You could record any audio that you have if you attach a mic to your computer. Very, very good. And if you want to do a webcam, you could record that with OBS as well. So those are the 2 key pieces, and whatever you're using to edit works. I know for myself, I use Premiere Pro, but I didn't start using that till at least about 6 to 8 months into me actually recording videos. Before that, I used a software called Camtasia, which is more of a screen capture software, but it also had some editing capabilities. So that's what I use. But yeah, for you, I would recommend BlueStacks and OBS just to get your recording down, and then whatever editing software you want, that is fine. But I like Premiere Pro. If you're on a MacBook, Final Cut Pro works very good, and I think it comes with that platform as well. Next question, after completing Fear of the Darkness and leveling up Ultron, I've ran out of training mats. I still have a long way to go on Shuri, Invisible Woman, and Falcon for Ultimate 7. What's the smartest, quickest way to obtain training mats? So I don't know if there's any secret to obtaining them, but I think you really got to prioritize which characters you are leveling up in order to just use your resources on the characters that you find most valuable. So if it's Ultron, I will be saving my gold saving my training mats to be able to level him up, because I think he's that important of a character. Other characters maybe not as important, and maybe not leveling them up, but I would focus on one character at a time, help you with your resources, and it'll help you really prioritize which characters are important to you, especially if you're doing one character at a time. ValleyFlyin, greetings from Canada. So my question is, I have Venom, Carnage sitting on the sidelines. I want to put them into a team. Spider-Man and Miles are on my Brawlers team. I want to bring the 4 together. Who would make a good 5th that is non-Sinister 6? Or can I go to the other 2 without the other team without Spider-Man and Miles? And that's what I'm doing, sort of. Miles is still on that team with Venom and Carnage, but I'm actually running about a hybrid Asgardian team. So if we go into the game right now, this is the team that I'm running with: Carnage, Venom, Loki, Hela, and Miles is on this team. Miles could go back to the hero brawler, but I have Captain Marvel in that spot right now. You could replace a lot of characters with Miles right here, and then just use Venom, Carnage on this sort of Asgardian team. But another option is when you're making a Marauders team, you're taking Sabretooth and Mystique out, putting Venom and Carnage into that team. So those are the two options. I don't know if Spider-Verse is that great of a faction to really prioritize right now over a hybrid Brotherhood or a hybrid Asgardians or some other hybrid that you would want to make. Hey, ValleyFlyin just pulled a 6 red star Crossbones. Congratulations. I was thinking of putting him on a villain team. What are some good villain teams without Hand Century? Have him on my Ultron team. Loki will be going to my Asgardian team when they're released. Drax is also on my Ultron team. Any recommendations who can fill that void on a Crossbone villain team with Crossbones, Yondu, Kingpin, Winter Soldier, etc.? It's not a very good team anymore. But back in the day, I was really trying this team, trying to make it work, building up these characters, and they just don't have that punch that they did about a year ago. For that team though, because I have my Korath built pretty good, I would put Korath on that team to round it out. So Crossbones, Yondu, Kingpin, Winter Soldier, and Korath. And they're just kind of leftover villains that I would place on that team. So not necessarily the best team out there. That's what I would do with that, but I wouldn't be building up Crossbones anymore. It's nice that you got a 6 red star on him, but I think his viability went way down, even if you have that extra damage from that 6 red star pull that you got. I think there are a lot better teams, a lot better characters out there that you could really get your most value for your resources that you spend on these characters. Next question, do you think a promotion credit requirement of upgrading red stars should be reduced, like upgrading 3 red stars to 4 red stars required 50 promotion credits and gives a boost in stats by 10%, but upgrading 4 to 5 red stars only boosts the stats by 15% and costs 300 promotion credit? So the promotion credit definitely needs to be revamped. The whole red star system needs to revamp. I don't like the currency exchange. Like I said, it is better than what we had before, which is nothing. But right now, it's not the best value for someone really looking for that. And I don't know if Fox Next really wants that. So definitely needs to be done. I don't know if it is going to be done though. I hope something is done though. I'm really crossing my fingers that Fox Next listen to the community about these red stars, how bad they are, and will definitely do something to improve it for a lot of players, because right now it is based so much on luck. All right, next question, ValleyFlyin. With the likelihood of Beast and Cyclops coming to the game very soon, what X-Men are you going to replace them with? I think the squad right there is going to be Phoenix, Colossus, and I'm not sure if Storm or Psylocke will get that next spot, and then Beast, Cyclops. But I think these 2 X-Men are going to be dependent on game modes. From what I've seen, Beast looks more like a healer, so probably giving that team a little more raid viability, but Cyclops looks like more full attack. So I think it'll be dependent on that game mode. Follow-up question, could the replaced X-Men be prepared with newly replaced mutants from the Brotherhood, Juggernaut, Pyro? I definitely would like to see that. You know, more exchangeability between the Brotherhood and X-Men. They're both mutants, and sometimes they end up working together depending on the story. So I would like to see that added to the game, but it would really need Foxnest going back into the Brotherhood, switching up their kits a little to include all mutants, not just Brotherhood mutants, in some of their passives right there. But that is something that I could see them doing, just to give it a little more clear cut what to do with some of these teams when the Marauders come around. So I would like to see a little more options opening up some of these tags and some of the passives of some of these teams here. Next question, I'm taking Star-Lord, Minerva, Nick Fury, Shield Security, Groot into Fear the Darkness, all at level 70. I'm not free to play, not too much gold. Who would you recommend in taking to level 71 first, and in what order? So the big thing that you're going to get from level 71 is resistance and focus. So my answer is going to be based more around the bonus that they're going to see from resistance and focus rather than what it's going to do for their characters. So Star-Lord, he's going to get a little bit of bonus with extra focus to his special where he's applying the blinds to the enemies. I think that would be a very good one. Minerva, not so much for her focus and resistance. She's gonna get a little bit when you do her ultimate, tries to apply those bleeds, although I don't think those bleeds are the most important things of those skills, so I wouldn't say she's hugely important. Nick Fury, not really gonna see huge increase from focus and resistance, so I would keep him on the back burner. Shield Security, not too much increase in his focus, although he can get a stun if the situation is right. More getting that benefit from his resistance. So he would be a good candidate as well, because you don't want the enemies to very easily dispel his taunts that he's going to come up with so often. And Groot, most of his, I mean, he's going to benefit a little bit from resistance. All these characters will. But as far as focus, most of the things he's doing is to his own team, so probably not needing a lot of focus there. So the two candidates I would pick out of these characters, just based on the focus and resistance alone: Star-Lord for that extra focus, especially for his special, and Shield Security for that extra resistance, just because he's taunting so much. And these other characters are more luxury spots to upgrade them to level 70. Next question: is the background song in the Villain City theme from Superhero Squad Online? I am not sure. I usually play with the sound off, so I'm not sure. And I don't know Superhero Squad Online either, so I am not sure. Let me know in the comments though if you guys know the answer to this question. Next question: building a arena team consists of Captain Marvel, Minerva, Captain America, Fury, and Coulson. Was wondering what T4s are most necessary for Captain America. I have him at level 74. I want to make him as strong as possible. I don't think any of the T4s for Captain America in the game right now is very important. I mean, if you really had to upgrade one of his skills, I would go with his special Inspire, just because he's giving a little bit, he has a chance to get an extra ability energy to an extra character, so that would be a little nice. His passive is going to give him a little more block amount, doesn't do too much, and the rest of his moves not benefiting the whole team, they're benefiting him and some of his damage. So I would say his special, if anything. But if you really need to put a T4 on Captain America. But if you don't, I would say hold off and put your T4s on another character. They're going to go a lot longer for you and your progress in the game. Next question: was thinking about a hybrid team to bring into Fear the Darkness. Do you think Sinister would be worth gearing up to T13? So I think he is worthy of getting that Tier 13 if you have the resources. Now, when you're specifically talking about Fear the Darkness, again, I'm going to go to that default answer that I talked about a little earlier in the video, where it's more important to get the characters geared and to get into Fear the Darkness rather than going in with the ideal team, because you could be waiting for these parts for months and months and months, or you could go in sooner and take a non-ideal team. You're going to be grinding a lot more, it's going to be a lot harder, but that might actually get you through that game mode a lot quicker. So yes, he would be worth gearing up, but if you have other characters that you have the gear for, that you can go into Fear the Darkness quicker, I would do them first and then maybe gear him up as kind of a side project for fun, because I think it would be a very fun Fear the Darkness run with Mr. Sinister. And yeah, I think I want to try it. I've already passed it. I'm not doing it for anything specific, but I think it would be fun. So for that alone, maybe. Next question: ValleyFlyin, I unlocked Ultimus. What is your honest opinion on him? Yeah, congratulations on unlocking him, but he's not a very good character. Is he worth the wait? It's kind of worth it for that trophy in your collection, like, oh, I got an Ultimus, very hard to get. But as far as value to your roster, not really adding a lot in any game mode at all right now. Next question: I think they need to add another way to get war currency. My idea would be similar to how we get raid currency for beating certain milestone. How does that sound to you? That sounds great. I would love it. More resources, the better. And these milestones, I like hitting these milestones. I do like them. These milestones that we get every day, the milestones that we get for blitz and raids, I like them. So if they would add that to war, I would be much in favor of that. ValleyFlyin, don't need a long answer, just something short to help me out. With similar red stars on all three teams, who would you recommending upgrading? Supernatural, Asgardians, or AIM? Now, they all look good and they all look like really strong teams, and in the right situation, they could punch up a lot in war and in blitz and be very viable in the raids. Now, with that said, which team I think would I recommend upgrading? I think I would have to go Supernatural. One, because Asgardians is not a complete team right now. AIM, we're missing one of the characters, but I think I like Supernatural a little better, even though we're missing two of the characters from being able to farm. AIM, you can't really farm Gravitron right now, and Supernatural, you can't farm Ghost Rider or Elsa right now, but I think that Supernatural is a little stronger from what I have played so far. So and I think they're a lot more fun to use. So for that alone, I would go Supernatural, then AIM, and Asgardians, even though they seem like a very good team, I would build them last, just because nobody has Heimdall or Sif at this point. Next question. First of all, kudos to you and all the great content you put out there week after week. Thank you for watching, brother. I was hoping you assisted me with the best way to go forward with the Brotherhood team. Divide them so that Sabretooth and Mystique go to Marauders, or keep them attacking as a counter to Coulson Shield. This was an interesting question, and I think you're gonna have to talk to your alliance about this. I think this should be an alliance-wide decision, and because yeah, you're either having a great defensive war team with the Marauders, or you're having a great offensive war team with the Brotherhood. And it's going to be up to your war strategy and your alliance's war strategy to determine which one is going to be best for you. I think whatever you choose, you should be in alignment with your alliance. So this is going to be a very individualized question based on what your alliance is doing. So I would say default to your alliance leader and your captains and see what they would recommend for you guys based on your attacking and defensive strategies. All right, guys, that is it for this video. I hope your question got featured. If it didn't, make sure you are on the Discord server and go to that mailbag channel, leave your question there. I try to my best to fit in as many questions as possible. Some of them I don't know the answers to, so I just literally would be kind of a waste if I put them on, but I try to answer as many as possible. So make sure your questions are featured there, because that's where I go to every single week for this mailbag video. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, make sure you share this with all your friends, subscribe to the channel, smash on that like button, and smash on that bell. Join that notification squad, guys. Check out some of the links down below that supports the channel. I do want to thank all of the new patrons that joined very recently. You guys are awesome and do a great job of supporting the channel and helping me to make better content for all of you guys. There's some other links down below. Make sure you check out my other channel, ValleyFlyin76, for more great content on other games that I play, including Dragon Champions. And I will see you guys next time. Hope you have a great Monday, and I hope you had a great weekend. Like I said, I will see you guys next time. Hulk fist bump, baby! ValleyFlyin out!